Do you belong in an energy community? Would you like to know your potential? Well, I have Stavroula with me, who's going to explain to us exactly that. Hi, Stavroula, and thank you for being here with me today.
Hello, Areti. Thank you.
Starting immediately with the potential of energy communities, which is immense and a great focus of the European Commission. What do they bring in the energy transition?
Well, energy communities have actually huge potential to contribute to these very ambitious renewable energy targets that are set at the EU level. Already with the Clean Energy Package from 2018-19, the European Commission and the European institutions recognized the unprecedented potential that they have to contribute, and that consumer engagement and citizen empowerment has to contribute to a successful energy transition. And we have some research already from 2016 showcasing that we actually have a very interesting study from C Delft, which the main conclusion is that by 2050, at least half of the European citizens could be producing their own renewable electricity. And that will mean that they could meet 45% of the electricity demand by then. So we are talking about a huge potential that still at the local level oftentimes stays untouched, and that citizens alone, as active consumers, or through the participation in an energy community, can contribute also for the local security of supply in times of energy crisis, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. How plausible is that? And when we have to deal with energy crisis, how can an energy community help its members?
That's a very good question, and we had a lot of discussions with our members in REScoop.eu during the energy crisis. We have a lot of examples showcasing the way that energy communities contributed to make sure that their members don't have to be exposed to the very high energy prices. And I have a concrete example, for instance, EcoPower, which is an energy cooperative in Flanders. They had enough production to supply to their members, and in this case, the members were not exposed to the market prices. So for the whole duration of the energy crisis, those people that were members in EcoPower could pay a lower price compared to the consumers in Belgium and in Brussels. So, and this is because the energy communities are not for profits, so they care about their members, the local community, rather than profit making.
Of course, because they care about themselves also. All of them are members of the same community. What are the barriers, however? There are bound to be some, right?
Yeah. Well, energy communities are also citizen initiatives, oftentimes are run by volunteers, so they're not as professionalized as other market actors, and they face several barriers with accessing the markets and competing with larger companies. So there is a range of barriers from access to the grids, all these administrative or bureaucratic procedures that they have to follow. But we have also noticed a huge implementation gap on the legislation and the transposition of the EU provisions at the national level. And that is definitely a barrier for many citizens to set up their own initiatives. And this is something that I think now the market design reform that the European Commission has proposed, and it's under negotiation with the Parliament and the Council, it's a great opportunity to also ask ourselves and ask the policymakers, do you want to move towards a decentralized market? And yes or no, do you want the citizens to be able to control their own prices? So if we want to prioritize moving towards a decentralized market, this means that we should make sure that energy communities and citizens and local actors are able to participate in the market without discrimination compared to other actors.
Is it safe to assume that REScoop is working on this?
Yes, we are actually working on, we published some proposals concretely on the market design reform. And today I also want to officially launch the policy recommendations that we came up with in the SCALE project, in a Horizon project that is working and focusing on energy communities at 5 different countries.
I would like to go back to the skills and to the opportunities and the tools that energy communities have at their disposal. And it has come to my attention, correct me if I'm wrong, that many companies are trying to hijack that. I think the phenomenon is called corporate capture, and I would like you to explain what it is and how we can deal with it.
Sure. So indeed, and now especially in the process of the transposition of the legislation at the national level, we see this phenomenon more and more evident, even in countries that didn't have energy community legislation before. So what happens in some cases is that the definition on energy communities is a bit broad, and there are some financial incentives or some other types of incentives provided for all these initiatives. And in this way, there are, in some cases, like in Greece, some companies trying to create energy communities and hijack the concept so that they can reap those benefits. We have also examples of countries that had this phenomenon, like Germany, but tried to alleviate or deal with it. In Germany, what was the case was that in the tendering processes for support for renewable energy, there were companies trying to hijack the citizen energy definition, that energy community definition that they had there. And now, I think with a package that was introduced last year, they tried to deal with that, and they included a specific percentage in the definition of energy communities, citizen energy companies, I think they are called there, a specific percentage of citizens and natural persons that should participate in the initiative, so that it's considered a citizen energy company. So in this way, they try to provide support for the unique citizen initiatives. So of course, this will help a lot, but the case of corporate capture should be also something that should be reflected at the EU level.
Exactly. So we don't have a solution yet, but we're doing things about it, and REScoop is one of the initiatives that can help with it, right? Definitely. Excellent. Thank you very much, Stavroula. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.